Hi guys, I'm back. It's me, Carol, with Refunction Crafts, and guess what we're going to do today? These are some butterflies that we're going to do using this mold. It's a butterfly fairy mold. Now, I got to be honest with you guys, I did this video yesterday and I messed up all over the place, and so this is a retake. So today it's going to come out though, I just know it. As you'll see, this one here, this was one I did a couple of days ago because I wanted to make sure I could do it and get the dress all pretty and everything and not get the color everywhere so that it looked all smudged and messed up. And so I made this one. And this is the fairy one. And look at how beautiful she came out, you guys. I love this purple and the violet. Oh my gosh, she is gorgeous. And then I had bought some earrings at a little dollar store local to me. They had one pair of these. I wish they had had more because I really like this as a pretty dangle for this one. But anyway, so this is the one I was doing the video on. And here's the deal, you guys. Part of me wishes I had just continued the mess up video because look at this. It's amazing. It came out so pretty. And what I need to do real quick is I need to see if I have another of these flowers because I really, really, really want to do one almost just like this one. But I need to make sure I have one of my flowers that I can put in the center of it. And I'm not sure if I have another one. This might be my last one, but I do have one that I can take off of something else that I don't have in my shop. And we'll just use that one. It'll work just fine. But the thing is, we're going to do today's as a fairy. So I don't know if that's going to work now that I think about it. But I'm going to get it out just in case it will work. Because look at how gorgeous this came out. But when I said we're going to redo this, I shouldn't have said that. Because literally on this one, I had to cut the entire fairy out of it. I had to... with my nippers, I had to cut this whole thing out just because it's bulky, and I didn't want that added bulk in it when I turned it into just a plain butterfly. But we're going to do today's like the fairy because I want to show you guys how I did the dress and all of that good stuff. Here's another flower, but I really think I want to try and use this one if I can. If not, we'll just use some of the other flowers that we have. So what I'm going to do, I kind of hate to do this. Maybe I have one in this one. Let me look in my other case real quick. I don't think I have another one. I think I literally used all of them. I need to buy some more of these porcelain roses. I need to get on that. I do see one thing that I might want to use. I'm surprised I didn't see that yesterday. Because I was flipping through these jewels like no tomorrow when I was in here working on these yesterday. Oh my goodness. I was so frustrated when it didn't work, and I thought, well, I'm just going to fix this and I'm going to make it how I make it, and it'll just have to do. And then when it was done, I was like, oh my goodness, I really wish I had just kept the mistake that I made and done the video to show you guys how you could fix something that was really, really messed up. So let me see if I can get this flower off of this other thing. And it came right off because it was hot glued, thank goodness, and not resined to it. I had this flower in the middle of this cross, but I'm going to get some more and I'll just redo this cross when I get them. So that's not a big deal. I wasn't going to use it in anything right away anyway. So there, we'll put that aside just in case we can use it. So anyway, as you can see, this one turned out amazing, you guys. I am just thrilled at how this came out. This is one of the prettiest I've ever made. It honest to goodness, look at that. It's got a lot of gems and jewels and things like that. This one's going to be kind of expensive in my shop just because of all the work that went into it. I mean, this was layers and layers and layers of work and hours. I spent literally hours making this one. But that's okay because I'm just so happy with the way it came out that I'm thrilled that I made the mistake, honestly. So yeah, isn't she gorgeous? So I'm going to set those two aside. And again, we're going to use this mold. And the way that we're going to do this mold you can get on TEMU. I have 2 of them now. My friend Melba sent me one, and I bought one. And so now I have 2 of them, and they're very, very thick. So here's the problem with using a thick mold like this, and it's not clear. It's opaque. So I always resin my molds, or put the bottoms of mine under the lamp as well as the tops. Well, that lamp light, the UV light, can't really get through this very well on the bottom. I still do it on these, but it doesn't get through the bottom very well. So what I did yesterday was I was using opaque pink. And what a mess I made, you guys. I tried to make a flesh tone to put in the face, and the face just got all messed up. I put flesh tone on the arms, and they looked okay, and the legs kind of looked okay, but you can see how this goes really, really deep on the legs. Well, the light really couldn't get all the way down in there, and it was still wet at the very bottom when I pulled it out. And I put this under the lamp so many times, you guys. It works in the dress because you can see the dress area is pretty open. So as long as I put the color in the open areas, it's going to do just fine. But I'm not going to use the opaque today. I'm going to use this little bit of the opaque that's left over here. But I'm going to turn it into more of a translucent pink in the end. So the way that I'm going to do that, let me grab some gloves real quick, because this dye gets all over everything and makes a terrible mess. And I have my nails, and I don't want to get dye all over my nails. So we're going to put our gloves on, care of my friend Kareth. And get the other one on. These are my favorite gloves because they fit like a glove. They fit my fingers, and I love them. Most of the gloves are way too big and too baggy, and I don't like to use baggy gloves. It drives me nuts because they don't, you can't grab things right. So what we're going to do first is we are going to put a bit of colored resin on the dress. And the way that we're going to do that, we have just this tiny bit of resin in here. We're going to add some resin to that. We don't need a lot, you guys. I'm adding a little extra only because I know I'll use what's left over in something else. But here's the thing. We've got this red dye right here, and I'm using Alumilite. This is translucent red. And I'm just going to dot this Q-tip on the dye that's on the outside of this, so you can see it immediately. This stuff finds a way to escape the bottle and get all over everything. So I'm going to take this little teeny dot that's on this Q-tip, and I'm first just going to kind of dip it in there because I don't want it too dark. So we're going to do this. We're going to grab another Q-tip, and we're going to mix that up. And it's turning just a little bit opaque, but it's still more translucent than opaque. But it's a pretty pink color. But I want it a little bit darker than that, so we're going to dot our red in there a little bit more. And that's about the color that I'm looking for. You need to make sure that when you put these dyes in your resin that you mix it up really, really, really well. It might seem like that's going in there real good, but you just need to keep mixing until you know it's mixed up real well. Try not to drop it on your work surface. If you do, try and make sure you wipe it up right away. Okay, so we've got our pink now, so what I'm going to do, I don't want it to get into the legs here, and I don't want it to get into the face or the arms. And we're also going to add some to the wings. And if you look at this purple one, you can see how I added to the edges of the wings. Actually, you can't. Let me get my white paper towel here. Set it down so you can actually see it. Okay, so you can see how I put the purple in the dress and the wings, and then there's partly clear, and you know, so there's areas that are clear and areas that are dyed. And so that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. We're going to dye the edges of the wings, all around the edges here, darker, and then the centers will get more clear as we get to the center. But right now I'm going to put this, and I'm actually going to make another batch of resin to do the edges, because I want that to be translucent. I don't want it to have any opaqueness in it at all. In the dress, I'd kind of like this little bit of opaque color. So I'm just putting a tiny bit, just kind of so it hits the bottom of the, like the creases in the dress. Put a little bit right here. And I want it thick enough so that it kind of doesn't get all like little drops. But I don't want it to go into the leg area. So you can see I'm just kind of dabbing this onto the silicone. Just kind of watch how I'm doing it. I'm just touching it. Try and get that to go up to the tip of this a little bit, but thin enough that that UV light's going to get in there and do its thing. And right here at the top of this, look at this, at the top, there's hair on this too, so don't get the dye in the hair. We don't want to dye her hair. We're going to leave that clear. And here I'm just getting up where her chest is on the dress, and I'm going to color that pink. We want to see this pink, and I'm going to actually, before I do the edges of the wings, I'm going to put this in there and let this sort of cure a little bit, so that there's just that little bit of resin. So I'm going to actually pop this under my lamp for about 120 seconds. I'm going to dot that real quick and then real quick pop it under my lamp so that starts to cure while it's still touching. Because the silicone, when you're using these silicone molds, it tends to pull away from the edges. The resin pulls away from the edges, so it'll start to kind of close in on itself. So you want to get it under the light. If you're trying to get little thin areas, you want to get it under the light as soon as you can. Look at it. This is covered in ink. I'm just going to wipe this, make sure there's no ink anywhere, and I don't need these on top of my mat. I have my purple here that I used. This is translucent purple Alumilite that I used on my purple butterfly. So that's what I used on that one, and it's by Alumilite. And I can put a link on my description menu so that if you guys are interested in buying some of this. Now this ink is going to last you forever, and you can buy it, I think you can buy it separately by, you know, what color you want, or you can buy it in packages where you get like 10 colors or something like that. We bought all the colors when we got ours because we were using it for regular resin projects, so that Jeff and I could share it. So that's why we bought the big ones, and we bought it quite some time ago. And we're just going to let that light do its thing. And I think I'm going to pull that other earring out and use that as our dangle. I've also got these. I picked these up too that I could use as short dangles for something. But I don't know. I'm going to pull one off and see what it would look like on one of these as a short dangle. Might be pretty because it's two little butterflies. So if I was to put it like right there, it actually looks really pretty on there. Like she's carrying a couple of little butterflies. If I could just hold on to it, I'd be good. That might be pretty. We'll leave that out just in case. We'll test them both and decide from there. Uh-oh, what did I do with my other dangly one? Oh my word, did I leave it out yesterday? I must have, because I don't see it in here. Here's another dangle. This is really pretty. This would be pretty to use. Maybe we'll use that instead. I've got a few dangles in here, some that I made. I've got that one. That's real pretty. Got a pretty blue one in here, but we're not doing blue today, so there's that one. But I don't think I want to use that one. I think that's too big. And yeah, I don't see my other one like the one I have out here. It's probably, oh, here it is. I did leave it out. So there's the other one that's like the one we've got on the first butterfly, the purple butterfly. Okay. So my light went off and we've got our pink in there. So you can see it looks really pretty. And it'll be kind of two-toned. So there will be some clear in there and some pink. We're going to make some more pink for the edges of the butterfly now. So I do need the red back. And I want it to be a fairly kind of a dark-ish pink. Actually, if this is curing okay, I could probably use this pink, but I think I want it to be more clear though, so I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to stick with my program. I'm going to just throw that swab away, and I'm going to use one of my blue Q-tips here. My friend Kareth sent me some Q-tips as well, so I have a bunch of them. And you can see, I just put a dot in there, and look at how red that is. Way darker than I want it to be. So the way that we'll resolve that is, I'm going to use that red on something though. I already have an idea of what I can use it in, so I'm not worried about it. And I'm just going to take this that has that red on it. And I think I could probably use what's on here right now, but I'm going to just leave a little bit in there, stir a little bit at a time, and be smart. See, yeah, that didn't make it very pink at all. Okay, so let's see how this does. This looks more like it, what I'm looking for. I might even like a little tiny bit more color. There, that looks really good to me. So that's just a pale pink. All mixed in really well. Okay, so all I'm going to do, I think I'm going to actually do a little bit of pouring here, because I can, because I'm just going along the edges. So I'm just going to pour a little bit along the edge here. Just like that. Oops. One thing with resin, you guys, it's a messy thing to work with sometimes. Once you get used to it, it's not so bad. And it doesn't make quite as big a mess. But sometimes, even when you've been working with it for a long time, you still get messy. And I'm shoving it up under the edges here because this butterfly mold, oh goodness, it kind of goes up under the ledge there. So I'm just taking some from this side and putting it over here because I got a little bit more than I really needed over there, which was fine. I knew that would probably happen. And I'm just kind of pulling it up a little bit. And what I'm trying to do here, what I'm trying to achieve, is to get it into these little patterns that are on the edges of the butterfly so that the lines are a little bit darker in those little swirls so you can kind of see them. And then we're going to also put some of this in the center of the butterfly, kind of going outwards. And if you scoop it up on these little cotton swabs, it works out really nice because it grabs a decent amount at one time. And you can get it in there real good. Just don't drop it into the legs right here. Right there is the legs. You don't want to get it in there at this point. I'm going to put some at this tip of the butterfly wing too. But I'm just putting a little dot, one dot, and spreading it to both edges. Just like that. I kind of want it to go into these lines here that go towards the center, but I don't really want it on the white part there. So what I'll do is I'll put this in here, and then I will take a Q-tip and sort of swab the excess off of there. But this way the lines kind of show up in the butterfly. The details. This is how you can bring details out in your molds, you guys. And again, I'm also not wanting to get it up where her arms are. I can put a little bit more up at the top there because I can see where her hand ends. And if you can't really see it on this, I've got another butterfly already made, so I can just look at that and figure out where it needs to go. And this center part is where I want to add just a little bit more, just to have it kind of coming out in some areas. One more swirl right there. And you can see we've got quite a bit of clear here. So I can see where her hand is, so I'm going to put this up at the top here, right up to where her hand goes. And then I'm going to take another Q-tip here, and I'm just going to kind of wipe along this top surface to get off the excess. If there's a little bit on there, that's fine. It's just a little color, you know, a little, it'll be so transparent that you really won't see it much. But it just kind of looks like it's kind of feathering into it by doing this. And this part I'm just kind of feathering out a little bit. Okay, I like the way this side looks. I'm totally good with that. I do want to get a little more, and you might have to touch on this just a little bit more before you put it under the light. And then we're going to do this side, and all I have to do is kind of push it around on this side because I've got plenty on there. And you can see how it started to actually just kind of run into those lines. Very cool how resin just kind of, it follows the path of least resistance. And I am going to put out a reel on Facebook on this, and that reel will probably come out about the same time as this video does. And you guys, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, these kinds of projects go really quick in my shop. These will be in my store for sale. But they do go really, really fast when I put them out. Once I put out my video, generally, these will sell within minutes. And I do have one particular customer that loves butterflies, and she buys a lot of my butterflies. And pretty much every time I do a butterfly video, she goes in and she shops. So, so they will go fairly quickly. And if they're all gone, and you know, I'm gonna make more, just know that I'm gonna be making more, so there will be more available as I, you know, get some time to make them. So just know that. And now I'm just putting some of this clearish pink on the other part of the dress. The other parts of the silicone here. And I'm pushing it way down into the mold because, as we know, those holes go deep. But again, just remember, this is the translucent, and I'm trying not to get it on her hair that's along the edges of her dress there. I'm going to take my Q-tip And I'm definitely going to go over the hair section and try and make sure that I don't have a bunch of resin in her hair, because I don't want her to have pink hair. I mean, it might be pretty, honestly. I mean, she is a fairy, but I don't want it to match her dress, so that's why I'm not going to do that. Maybe an even paler pink would be pretty. Let's make sure these match on both sides. And I do like this just coming right up to the edges of the butterfly wings. It looks really pretty. Make sure that it's all there. Okay. And I think I'm ready to pop that under the light really fast for 120 seconds. And I'm tossing these Q-tips away as I'm using them. When I'm sitting here by myself doing this, I save them and I use them kind of as I'm working because I'm still using those colors. But this time I think I'm just gonna throw them away as I use them. That way they're not gonna get into anything and it's not going to be a big old mess. This one's clean, so we'll leave that one there. Okay, be right back, guys. Okay, you guys, so here we are. Doesn't look like much of anything right now. We have a little bit of resin on there, but it hardens and it comes right off of these silicone molds. That's what I love so much about these. Okay, so we've got our pink in there. We're not going to do any more pink than that. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to be working with our clear. Yay! No mess. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a thin layer. And like I said in the beginning, I think we're going to do this in small layers, you guys, so that we're curing a layer at a time. And again, the reason that I'm doing that is because this is such a thick mold that we don't want to get too much resin that it won't, it won't cure. So this is how I do this. And now that it's clear, most of this is going to cure from the light being over the top of it. I'm still going to put it over my my lamp on the bottom too, though, because it's just, I think it's a smart thing to do, and it's one way to at least get that lamp coming up through the bottom. A little tiny bit of the light will come through the bottom, but not much, you guys. This is so thick, it's insane. So I've got that first little layer in there, and we're going to cure this layer just like that. Let's make sure I got it everywhere, and I see here a spot that I missed. I do want it to get everything somewhat. I do want to get it inside her arms as well, and make sure I just kind of try to push it a little bit to make sure that it's, down in the face and down in the legs and all that good stuff. And like right here on this part, there's only a teeny bit here, and it's probably not all kind of on the bottom, but that's okay because we're going to be pouring another layer, so it'll cover eventually. The whole thing will cover. I'm going to take my torch. You guys need to get one of these little torches, and you can buy these at dollar stores. You can get them, I think, maybe even at Big Lots. Dollar Tree might have them. Or you can get them like at Walmart or Target or whatever, and they're just a little torch. I'm going to quickly go over this to make sure there's no bubbles. I don't want any bubbles, especially in this bottom layer. This is the most important layer. And again, I'm going to put it in for another 120 seconds. to my lamp. I don't have my lamp here, you guys, because I've got all this resin stuff up here, and I don't want this stuff to cure. I'm going to use this in something else. So I have a couple of my other little molds here. I think I'm going to make a couple of pendants or something with some of this. I have a couple of ideas for things that I want to do. I just haven't had time to sit down and try them yet. So I've also got out here some pretty bits and pieces to use. Look at these. I've got these purple ones. I'm going to use these on my next purple one. I may be using these on this one today. I have some of my little flowers here. These ones. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not, but I may be because I thought these would be pretty. Like where I have these bottom ones, I thought these would be pretty on the pink one. So we're going to try these and see what they look like. I don't have any pink ones like the purple ones that are on this other one. I used them all up. So we're out of pink. I've got some other flowers here just in case, and I want to try this one. I just think this is going to be too big. The other thing I have that we could use on that same spot is I've got some of these that I cut off my chain, and those would be pretty in that space as well. So we'll just decide as we go what we want to use and where. Of course, I've got my little dangles. And I don't know what I did with that chain again, but that's okay. And I've got some other little gems and things here. I have a little love charm that I thought maybe I might put it on there. I did put it on that pink one, and it looked really cute, but I don't know if we're going to use that or not. We'll decide. I really wish I had these in pink because they would be so pretty on this. But I don't. I used them all. So yeah, we've got lots of bling here that we can play around with. So it should turn out really, really pretty. Oh, I know. I know what I wanted to pull out, but I didn't. I have some of my these kind of pieces, but you know, I honestly don't know if I have any pink left. I don't think I do. They're all purple. I do have this as well. Maybe I'll take this out just in case. I have two actual whole pieces of this left, and then I think I have one more that I've already cut off of the chain that I've set aside. So maybe we'll use some of that. I don't know. Just looking to see if I might have one of the pink dangle charms, and I don't see one. But you saw how pretty that looked on this one. That's what I used right here. So there's the small part is right here, and the big part is here. I just fold them, and so that it looks like one piece of jewelry. And it came out so pretty. But yeah, I don't have anything in pink. What's this one? Maybe this is pink. Oh, no, purple. I do have that. And I think I have one more of those. I do. I have two of those. Could take and maybe use that on one side and that kind of coming off the other side. kind of like that. Maybe that would be pretty. We'll see. But no pink. Sorry, guys. I have all my little tiny jewels and stuff that I can use. This little thing, this is all my, mostly my TEMU charms and stuff. The little teeny tiny ones, but I've also got some of these little pink aluminum roses. I don't like that one. That one's kind of messed up. I've got these little pink ones in here. We'll take a couple of those out just in case. Those are kind of pretty. And I have that. And I have a white one. White would be pretty to add in here. And I have some little white flowers. And I also have, in here's a bunch of little tiny, this would be pretty in there, huh? That's a pretty charm, or a pretty piece of bling. Okay, let's put these back in here. And where was I going to look? Here. I have my little pink flowers too, and I thought maybe we might use some of these today. And these are the ones I get from TEMU. And I also have these eensy weensy teeny pink ones that Debbie sent me. This one's already open. And I have some of these pink ones. Those are pretty bright pink, but they're pink. Kind of like that one. That one's got a little more green, and so does that one. I like them when they have more green and less pink in them. That's purple. So I'm just going to pull a few of these out and see which ones. This one's got too much pink in it. Okay, so all right, we'll just go with that, and this should be done with that first layer now. And this is a fun layer that we're going to do next, because we're going to add some other things into it. And I do see there's a little bubble in her dress down there, but that's okay. We're just not going to worry about that. We're not going to worry. Okay, so what I think I want to do is maybe, no, I'm not going to add any flowers in yet. What I am going to do, oh, and I've got these. These are just different little shapes, and I got these in Happy Mail. And there's actually some sequins in here that are really pretty clear sequins. And I thought I might like to add some of those in there. I'm just going to pull some of those out and lay them in the resin. Set them on top, if I can get them to let go of me. They have some static in them, of course. Let's see if I can get my tweezers to pick them up a little bit easier and let them go. Uh-oh, that wasn't good. No, they don't want to let it go either. Not much better anyway. That's okay. I just thought these would be really pretty in there. Some of these are little stars and stuff. I don't really want the stars in there. But I'm also going to be using some of my glitter don't want white ones. There's one more clear one. And these I can kind of move around too once I get the resin poured in there. So I'm going to pour these back in the bottle if I can. I can get most of them in there. Okay, and put our cork back so I don't lose any more. Okay, so we've got a few of those in there. I'm just gonna kind of move them around. Oops, that one was going in the wrong direction, so I want to turn it over. And there's one more. And there's one more. Since I've got 3 on that side, I think I'm going to put 3 on this side, and I just picked up the other one. 1, 2, and 3. I need to have it flipped over. It's flipped the wrong way. I need it to go that way so that the pretty side is down. And these I'm just moving sort of over to the edges. And I can, like I said, I can move them around as we go. So it's no big deal. Okay. All right, and then we have our past tense, our glitter out here. I know I had it in my hand at one point. That's not it. There it is. And we're going to use one of our little spoons that Sherry sent me to spoon the glitter out this time. In fact, you know what? I'm going to start putting resin in here first. I need to get some resin down. And I should have done this before I put the sequins down even, because we need the resin to get up under those sequins, you guys. Otherwise, I'll have bubbles in there. Air bubbles. And I don't want air bubbles. And you guys, just so that you know, doing a project like this, you're going to use a lot more resin than you will in your other projects. Just saying, because these molds are pretty thick. So you will be using quite a bit more resin, which in turn, that's kind of what makes these pieces a little bit more expensive in my shop when I do them this way. But it's worth it in the end because they look gorgeous, and they're thick, and these make great mirror hangers or purse charms. They look amazing on a purse. So that's that layer. This is not the last layer, but it's the second to the last layer. And now we're going to spoon some of our glitter in there, and this is my silvery shimmery glitter. And we're going to try not to get that into the face. Now that's a task. Now if I was spooning this in real quickly, it would be no problem. But I can see it traveling over there as we speak. But I can only do this so quickly, unfortunately. It's fine if it gets into the dress. I'm totally fine if it gets into the dress area. So I'm just gonna let it go there too, because I like some sparkle in the dress. Not too much. And now I need to speed myself up here, because I still have something else I want to put in here. And there I went. I got it in her leg. Oh well, that's okay. Not going to worry, because it went into her arms as well. So she's a shimmery, shimmery fairy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this gold. It's supposed to be crushed glass, but I don't believe it. I got it on TEMU, and I don't believe it's glass. In fact, I'm going to take my gloves off now, because I'm not using that dye anymore, and I'm not going to be touching the resin. So I want to get this, and I'm just going to drop it in my hand, and it's like flakes of, it's said crushed glass, so I guess I have to take them at their word, right? And we're going to add some of those in there. And this stuff gives it a really neat look as well. And we're going to kind of try and swirl some of this around a little bit, you guys, so that it mixes in with that glitter. Trying to make sure I get plenty kind of all around. And I'm going to take one of my swabs here, and I'm just going to kind of move things around a little bit. And I don't have any glitter in the face right now, and I'm going to try really hard to keep it that way. So now I'm just going to kind of push this stuff down, push it around, and I'm even going to try and pull it out of her legs, because it looks like not much went into the legs either. I don't care about the dress. That's fine. I think it'll look really pretty in the dress, but I really don't want it to sink down into the legs if I don't have to. If it does, oh well. Like I said, no big deal. No harm, no foul. Okay. I think I like that. That looks really good, and it's not in her face right now, so we're going to pop this under the light right now for another 120 seconds. And this time I may go 2 rounds of the 120 seconds. Be right back. Okay, you guys, I did find a crystal that would be really pretty on this if it works out. So I did, I actually had it out here the whole time. I just didn't see it. So we're going to leave that there just in case. I'm pretty sure I won't be using these because of that, but I will keep those out for another one, because I'm going to be making a few of these, you guys, in different colors. I have some other color combinations that I'd like to try. I've got some blues and greens and things like that, so I might even try some other colors. So I just love these butterflies. They're beautiful, and I think that they make awesome, awesome gifts, especially for like the rear view mirror hangers and stuff. I just love them. I've got a lot of them hanging on my car, and I know it's kind of, you're not supposed to do that, but everybody in California has them, so I don't worry too much about it. And the police officers out here don't even question you about them. They used to when I was a kid, back in the day. They were more strict about that kind of stuff, but not anymore. They don't worry about the little stuff. I mean, heck, they don't even worry about the big stuff anymore, so I don't worry about that. But your state may be a little more strict on those things, so if they are, you obviously can't use it for that, but you can use it on as a purse charm or keychain, something like that. I mean, I don't know that I'd want to take one of these and use it as a keychain, especially, you know, with all the work that goes into them. But you could if you wanted to. And I just want to remind you guys, please, please, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I need those thumbs up, and I need those comments so that my channel can continue to grow. I noticed my last couple of videos, I think what's happening, and I'm noticing a lot of YouTubers are saying the same thing, is that somehow some of the notification stuff gets turned off in people's accounts, and they're not getting notified when videos are going out. So please make sure you keep checking back with me, because I've been putting a lot of videos out recently. I'm trying to put 2 to 3 out a week, so just so that you guys know. But give me that thumbs up, give me the comments, and that will prompt YouTube to put my videos in front of more people. I really, really appreciate you guys all helping me out to grow my channel. It means the world to me, you know that. And I'm excited that I just got to 10,000, but now my goal is 20,000. So once I do that, they'll probably start putting me in front of even more people. So the sooner I can get there, I'm almost to, let's see, I have 10,400 now. So that's good. It's still growing. So we did put a last layer of clear resin on the back side of this. So again, we're going to put it under the light for 120 seconds. And I did put that under the light actually for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 minutes. I did it for 8 minutes on one side and 2 minutes on the bottom side. Actually, no, I did 4 minutes. So I did 12 minutes. Because I just want to make sure that it's ready to come out when I'm ready to pull it out, which is going to be after this layer cures. This one I'm just going to put 120 seconds on, because it's just a thin layer of clear. And so it should cure pretty well, pretty quickly. So we're going to finish that up, and I took out some of my crystals that my friend Kim sent me. I love these crystals, and they go into a lot of my projects. They give the most beautiful sparkle. I took out some of my little pink acrylic roses or resin roses here that I got from TEMU. So pretty. And let's see, what else did I do? I think that's all I took out while you guys were gone for a minute. I also put a little jewel on the middle of this butterfly because I'm going to finish this one. This is one I had this one done, resined, a couple months ago, and I'm just now getting around to embellishing it. So I'm going to work on that. So I just went ahead and, while I had the lamp on and everything and I was waiting, I went ahead and put these sparkles in the middle on her body. See how pretty she is? And so I got that on there, and now I'll go from there. I also have these crystals. These came out of, a long time ago, I bought some lanyards from Michael's, and they had these crystals on the inside of the neck piece, and each one had so many crystals. I couldn't even buy them at the time for what I was paying for the lanyards, and I was getting a ton of them out of them. So I bought quite a few, and they actually had the same lanyards at the Dollar Tree at one time. Or no, the 99-cent stores where I started getting them. And so I bought a ton of them at the 99-cent store because they were 99 cents or $1 at the time. And so I still have a whole bunch of them left, but they have like a gold tone to them. And these look really gorgeous in my projects as well. So I thought, well, maybe we'll use some of those. Okay, so this layer is cured. And look at all the sparkle in there. I don't know how much of that sparkle is going to show on the other side. I may add a little more of my glitter to the other side. We'll see. We just have to see what we have. It feels pretty hard on both sides, so we're going to say a little prayer now that this comes out good. I'm just letting it cool down a little bit, you guys. So let that get cool. It'll take a few minutes, and then we'll come back and we will take her out of the mold. Okay, you guys, so I got it all cooled down. I actually sat it in the freezer for a second. It's a little bit warm still, but nah, it's fine. So all you have to do is just kind of gently pull it away from the edges around the mold, just like that, and you can see how easily it comes apart, just like that. And I get it all loosened up that way. And it may have some wet spots on the underside, so, but it looks like her face and everything came out okay. So here's what I'm going to show you. This mold is not a smooth mold. Here's what it does. You can see this looks almost a little frosted a little bit. It's not super shiny. It's a little bit frosty. So what I'm going to do, I have one little wet spot right there. I'm going to fix that spot real quick. I have one little spot here in her hair. I'm just nipping it off here because it kind of pulled away a little bit. And I've got this away from you guys because I've got to be able to see it to do this. So I'm going to pop her right side up under the lamp for about 60 seconds because I want to make sure that side gets good and hard. So, but you can see it all came out of the mold. So we're good there. And I'm going to pop my mold over to the side here. I'm excited, you guys. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint a little bit of resin over the top of the piece. So I need to get a paintbrush, one that's kind of soft. This one's soft. Just making sure it doesn't have any color in it. Some of the ones I have are like really like sturdy paintbrushes. They're not very soft. This one looks good and it doesn't look like it's ever had any paint or anything on it, but I like this one because it's a little fuller. We're just going to use that one. Oh, here's some other ones. There we go. This one I know is good and clean. And so is that one. That one's a little fuller. Okay. So, we've got the top side good and cured now. I can touch it and nothing's happening. I'm just taking a look at her face. I didn't get any sparkles in her face. Now, it looks like her face didn't come out as clear as I would have liked it to, but it looks okay. Her feet are perfect. Her legs and her feet are perfect, so we're good there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to paint over the top of it with some resin, and then we're going to see how much those sparkles shine through. If they don't shine through real sparkly, we're going to add a little bit more sparkle to the top because I do want her to shine and be sparkly. So I'm just kind of drizzling resin over the top of her. And then I'll just kind of paint it in so that it's a nice thin layer. Okay, I think I got plenty on there, so we're just going to do this now. And if you need to, you can kind of paint it over the edges, but my suggestion would be to do that after you do this. Get this part cured, and then go over each side, one side at a time, so that you can hold it under the light sideways and make sure that the light is really hitting those edges well. I got a little bit more resin on this side than I did the other side, so I'm just going to move some of it over. And that looks really pretty. It's pretty sparkly, but for my taste, I feel like I need a little bit more sparkle in this. So I will add a little bit more of my glitter just to make sure I've got her looking the way that I want her to look. Getting it all into these little creases and everywhere. Make sure that it's spread around real well. And then I'm going to hit it with my torch just a little bit. Make sure I didn't get any bubbles in there. And that's all you got to do. Just that little bit will do. And then I'm going to put my brush aside and grab my little glitter bag. And this bag is almost out. I have one more bag of glitter, you guys, and that's it. This glitter is gone. And unfortunately, TEMU is sold out of this glitter. So I will be patiently watching for it to come back in, so that I can get some more. And I may try to get some extra so that I can sell little bags of it, you know, cheaply, so that you guys, if you can't get them from TEMU, you can get them from me. And I just dumped a whole big bunch of it in that one spot there. And I am probably going to move this glitter around just a little bit. I'll use my little swab here. Just move it around. Just so that I know I've got it kind of all over. And you can see how nicely, whoopsie, I'm sorry you guys. You can see how nicely the pink came out around the edges. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love the way that looks. And I've got some glitter right here. I'm going to add to these little sections here because I forgot to dump some there. If I have to, I'll open my other bag. I don't know if I can pick up one of the big glitters or not. It's hard to see them. They want to stay where they're at. That's okay. It looks really, really good. Oop, I got one there. There we go. Okay, so I think that's good. I feel good about it. As Riker would say, I feel really, really good. And really, really good about it. Love that kid. Oh my goodness, I just love him. I think he is just a doll. Okay, under the light we go for 30 seconds. And you can see it's already just gorgeous. And the other thing that we're going to take out here is we are going to get one of our filigrees, or one of our corners, and we are going to get a piece of ball chain right there. I'll just put that piece in the container there. And we are going to take our little round pliers while that is curing under the light there, and we're going to take our filigree piece, and you can see here where it has a hole up here. I don't know if you can see the one right there, and then it has a hole right there. This hole we're going to make rounder on each side. So I'm just going to take my little round pliers that I use to make my eye pins and things with for jewelry. And actually, you know what? I think it would go really good in the top holes. I think I can use those. I'd rather use the top ones if I can. Some of these don't have as big a hole as that in the top, but this one seems like it does. I don't know if it's big enough for that ball chain to get through though, so I'm gonna test it and see. Yeah, no, that didn't get big enough. That's why I moved to the bottom ones, or the ones lower in the first place, because they're bigger. And all I'm doing really to these is just making them rounder so that the ball can go through. And test it out. Make sure that the ball chain's going to go through, and it goes through that side. And oops. And that side. Okay, so we're good. All right. So now we have our butterfly ready. There she is in all her glory. Is she not gorgeous, you guys? Oh my word, she's beautiful. And her dress looks pretty with the color on it. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, you guys. So now we have to decide how we want to decorate her. So we're going to move her where you guys can see her. We're going to get you up close and personal, not that up close. Oops. I just loosened up my camera here, so let me get my tongue depressor back in there so it stays in the right position. It doesn't really want to stay. I don't know how I got that to stay in there the first time. Maybe if I take and just dot it with a little hot glue on both sides. And let it dry. Removing the spider webs there. Not real spider webs, you guys. Hot glue webs. And see if that'll hold. Nope, that's not going to do it. Okay, well, I think it's okay. I'll just get you in closer. Try and tighten this up a little bit. Get you in closer, and I'll put her where she needs to be. I think. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Everything's harder to pick up when you have these nails. Okay. Okay, so that's where I want her to be, so that you guys can get a good view of what we're doing to decorate her. Okay, so we're going to test it out. Number one, I wanted to see what this flower would look like on her. And it is quite pretty, and it's very pretty on the butterfly part of it. So I might just kind of leave it there and see if I can decorate around it and make it look the way that I want it to look. We'll see. Oh, those are not what I want. I want my pliers. or my tweezers, not my pliers. No, I don't want that flower there, it's too dark. So I have bigger ones and little ones of these roses. But I still don't know if they're maybe too big. You know what? I'm going to take those off, all of them. I'm going to open this little bag of these flowers because I do know I love these, and Debbie sent them to me so that I could use them. Why am I just saving them? I don't know. I do that. I get things and I think, okay, I'm going to run out, and I hoard them, and then they don't get used in projects. Why would I do that? It's silly. But these are, I feel, just the right size, and they have a really nice look to them. And I'll give you guys a closer up look once I get them on here a little bit. And what I'll do is I'll kind of see if I can get them kind of going down the side. But just to give you a little look with those two on there, hopefully you guys can see them. Those are a decent size. So I'm going to have to kind of build around these. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to put them on with hot glue first, because that's how I'm going to get them to stay in place. And then I'm going to put resin around them and work that way. So I'm going to put one over to the side there, and I'm going to very quickly, I hope, try and get that on there while that glue is still soft and wet. There we go. And then I'm going to put one right here. We'll use this one here. Oh, Carol, come on. And I'm trying to use my nails, and that's just not going to work, so there we go. And then I have some pearls here. I did take my little tiny pearls out. Now those I'm going to have to, when I resin, I'm going to have to drop some of those pearls around it because I can't hot glue these little teeny tiny pearls. Here's some of the little pearls that I have, and those are not going to work in hot glue. They're just too tiny. So these little pearls right here. So we're going to use some of those, but let's see, I've got those flowers on. I was thinking about using some of these kind of going off into the wings. They really are very pretty, and they look good with this butterfly. So I was thinking I might try and use some of these maybe off to one side. I'm not going to use paper flowers on this, you guys. I'm going to use all resin and rhinestone goodies. The other thing is, remember this, I'm thinking this would be pretty kind of coming off the wing just like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that just gorgeous, you guys? I love that. So that's definitely going to go on there. I am going to polish this up a little bit real quick on the top just to make sure I don't have any fingerprints or anything on it. And real quick, I'm going to go check on my puppy real quick. Okay. I'm going to back you guys off just a little bit more here. Just because I think you might actually be able to see it better backed off than you can with me being so close up. And I'm just kind of trying to test some of these bits and pieces out. We do also have this one, and that would be pretty on there as well, but I really love this, so I feel like I have to go with that one. I am going to also, let's see, what do I want to use as my dangle charm on this one? It's got to go off to the side a little bit. That is very pretty, very pretty. And of course, we also have this. But to use this, I have to cover up her feet, and I don't want to do that. I feel like that's just a little too big. We did have these as well. These I could take and have them coming out both sides of the wings, but I don't really think that does a lot of justice to it either. So, that does look very pretty on there. It really does. If I don't drop it first. Okay. So if I put that like right there, that looks really pretty. Let's lower it. You guys can't see it as well as I can. It looks very shiny and sparkly. Let's see if we change our light color a little bit. You can see it a little bit better. I think that lighting is a little bit better. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to add some resin right here. And I want to have this resin kind of come out a little bit further than this piece is going to go, because I need the UV light to get to it. I'm also going to light up the bottom of this when it's all said and done, so that I can get underneath of these cured well too. So it's not going to be a big, huge deal, but that is going to be absolutely gorgeous. So we've got that on there. And then maybe, let's see, these are a little smaller. Let's see if we want, the white flowers are actually really pretty on there. I wonder if I want to go just with white flowers on this, or the light pink. I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to pop these off. Thankfully, they're just hot glued on there, so they're not on there real well. Those will come right off. And I'm going to take my little pliers here and get that glue off of there. Actually, my nippers, not my pliers. Okay, got the glue off. Let me resituate that. And I'm going to put some resin right here on top of that. And I'm definitely going to pop this little white flower right there in the center of that, because I just think it really looks nice. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pop some resin here. Wherever I can get these to stick with resin, I'm going to put these flowers on with resin. So, wish me luck. See, I think that looks way better. Way better. And pop a little resin right there for a little tiny flower. Just like that. You have to work and kind of play around with these things to get everything to sit the way you want it to, but it's worth the extra time and the patience to get it where you want it to be. And here's a little one that's a little bit darker. I'm going to go right here with that one. And I'm going to use my pliers, and then I'm going to stop right here for a minute and just let these get cured on here. Just like that. Okay, and then we can work from there. But for now, I want to get these things on there. In fact, I may put just a little dot of resin sort of off to the side of these. There, just like that. And I'm going to pop that under there for 30 seconds for now. And figure out what else we want. I've got this little tiny rhinestone piece that I thought I would maybe put on there. It's just a little rhinestone flower. I just have to nip the chain off the back of it. There we go. All right, so there she is so far, looking good. And then let's see. I'm not going to put that on yet. Let's see, what do I want to do here? That looks pretty off to that side. I like that. And then I'm going to need, I feel like I need one rose to just kind of build on these and finish that off. It really needs it. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but it really needs a rose up in the middle of these. So we're going to put that one there. And we don't have to worry about the other ones moving around because they are stuck down already. Okay, let me resin these on here real quick. I'm going to put them under the lamp. A little dot of resin there. And our white rhinestone. These are little nail charms from TEMU. These here. Very, very pretty. Oh, and I was going to see too, I think I would like to put one of these roses coming off of that white one right here. Oops, right there is where I'm going to put it. I'm sorry, you guys, I got out of your line of sight again. I'm putting it right there. But I'd like to get it to sort of overlap the other rose just a tad, if I can. Just like that is how I want it to go. Okay, that should be good. Another 30 seconds, and really I don't even need to go 30 seconds at this point. Because I'm going to keep popping it under there right now, so it's really not necessary to go that long. So here we go. We've got that much on there. Let me polish this up a little bit. Yep. And so that's what we have so far. Isn't she gorgeous? And then we want, what do we want now? I have a pink one of these too. It might be cute kind of poking out like that. But not there. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I do want to put down some pearls. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to just, in fact, I'm going to get one of my little silicone cups here. I'm going to put a little bit of resin in there, just in the bottom, just a dot. And get my Q-tip, a clean one. And I'm just going to kind of dot the resin around in places that I want to drop those pearls. And the pearls are really going to set this off, you guys. But the purpose for just dotting this resin on like this is that the pearls won't stick unless there's resin there. So that's why I'm just dotting it on, because it'll only stick where I want it to stick. I want to get some over here. And maybe, I think I got some there already. And then maybe have some of the pearls kind of fall out here a little bit. We'll just kind of dot a few spots. And let them land where they will. And if they don't land on that resin, that's okay. That resin will just cure in those spots. I'm not going to put any down on this part of her wing. Okay. So now let's see how we can get these pearls to just drop in there, if they'll drop off of the tweezers here. They tend to want to stick, the pearls particularly want to stick because they have static electricity in them. So they don't want to let go of whatever they're initially attached to. There's a little bit bigger one. We'll put that there. And one in there. Right there. And I have some silver ones in here and some other colors. Get a big one in here. And I've got some more of these if I need them. But I really mostly want just the pearls. So I think actually I'm going to drop one right here. That's a little bit bigger one, but not really that big. I think I need to grab some more of the bigger ones. Here's one. And I want that to kind of offset the other one on the other side. So I do want one right there, and I don't think I got any resin right there. So let's get our swab and put a dot of resin right there, and then I should be able to get this one to set down. Yep, that easy. we'll use some of the little clear ones too. Why not? They just look like little bubbles. Super pretty. This can be a little bit time consuming, getting, you know, all your little pearls and things down, especially if you want them to be in certain spots. But again, I think it's worth the time that you take to add that little touch. I want this one to be kind of more away from that flower in the middle there because it doesn't show up much next to that. I'm going to put a silver one right there. Let's grab a few of these little silver guys. Sorry, you guys, if this part is taking longer than you would like, but I just want this to turn out really nice, so I am taking my time. Let's see. Put you right there. And one there. And again, let's get another silver one, a silver one in there, or two or three. There's a baby one. And I don't want them all lined up there, so let's get this one. Yes, this is time consuming. Just a bit. Let's see, I think I had stuff down in this corner too. Yep. These white ones are just a pain to get to let go. If they don't find a little dot of resin, boy, they're not going anywhere. The little clear ones are kind of that way too. It doesn't want to come off either. There we go, and there's a couple more right here. Did that one drop off? I didn't put any resin there. Okay, you can go there. These two, I'm just gonna pick them up and drop them in. Hold on, you guys, this is work calling. Okay, you guys, so I think I've got plenty of those on there, and I really need at least I can't get it to stick. I feel like I need another flower there, but I don't like that one. Maybe another white one over here. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a white flower right there, but I am going to look to use a dot of hot glue to stick it down where I want it, because I do want it to kind of overlap the other flowers there. And I'm going to put a dot of resin in behind it, and I'm going to squeeze it in so that I'm sure to get enough for it to stick down. We're going to pop this up under the light, and looks like I've got to go to work early tonight. They called and asked me to come in and work a few extra hours, so, and this will be the third call that they've made to me this week. The other two I didn't end up going in, so, or I actually didn't know I had the calls until it was too late to go. I mean, I was already working those days, but they wanted me to come in early on those days too, and I couldn't. So I can't keep saying no, because then they'll never call me to come in early if I don't at least once in a while say okay. Okay, so that's all resin down, and it looks amazing. Isn't she beautiful? So now what we're going to do really quick, if we can, is I'm going to take some hot glue. We're going to face this filigree piece. We're going to flip it over so that this is the back side of it, so that it's pointing forward, and I'm going to center this teardrop piece right in the middle of her head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these little corners right here on these edges, right down to the wings, and I got it over too far, so now I have to do it again. My cord's in the way, and it's okay. So there's my teardrop, and I think that's good right there. And that way at least the glue's going to hold it there until the resin gets a chance to cure. So now I'm just going to put some resin right in these areas, and I'm going to drizzle a fair amount around that piece because I want it to stay, and I want it to stay forever. So I'm resining all around that, above it, below it, around it, in the circles and everything. So I'm going to put that in to cure. We're going to put this on. We're going to put, let's see. We're going to put this dangle on, but I do have to put something on the bottom of it. So what we will do is we'll take this one, this dangle, pull it off of this one. I don't know, this might, nah, that one's prettier. It's got the pearls on it. I don't want to skimp just because I got to go to work, so hopefully I will get there on time. I'm going to try. And now I'm going to just put this in under that one and twist it back together, making sure it's closed. I'm not using the right pliers, you guys, so yeah, I'm using my round ones, and those are not made to clamp onto these things. Okay, so there we go. We've got that set. Okay, we have our filigree piece on there, all ready to go. We are going to resin this down, deciding where we want it to come from, and I think I'm just going to put it off to the side just a little bit, so it'll be to one side of her legs, just like that. Oops, you're not seeing that. I'm sorry. Let's back off now. Okay, so it's just going to go off to this side of her legs, just like that. I'm going to drop some resin in there, and this is the perfect spot to be able to put this little ball down right in there, and I'm going to pop it up under the lamp. And again for 30 seconds. And then we're going to be done, you guys. That's going to be it for this piece. I know it was a little bit time consuming, but it was well worth the time. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. This one here is my favorite, and she doesn't even have the fairy on her. But I love the way all the jewels and stuff came out. I couldn't have done this had the fairy been on there, though. There's just too much piled on top of this one. And the fairy takes up space. So we've got this one down now with her dangle. Now all we have to do is put her ball chain on. What did I do with it? I had it right here a second ago. That's okay. I've got another one right here. We're just gonna not waste any time. So let's get this one on here. And I'm going through the back side like that, in that second hole that we made bigger, and through the front side. Pull it through. So you've got that little piece of chain going across there, and it looks pretty. It doesn't hurt the look of it at all. You can do it the other way so that that piece of chain is in the back. I personally don't like it that way. I don't like the way it hangs. This way causes it to hang straight. The other way, it wants to lean. So for me, I'd rather have something hang straight. You can barely see that chain on there. And this is what we got. So let me get my napkin here and put her on there. And that's what she looks like, you guys. Is that not gorgeous or what? I mean, absolutely stunning these pieces are. I'm just going to try and set these on the edge too, just so you can look at all three of them at one time. So that's what we have, you guys. These are amazing and gorgeous, and I will have them in my Etsy shop. So without further ado, I didn't use my crystals. That's okay. I'll use them on the next one. Without further ado, I'm going to say bye-bye. God bless you all. Stay safe. Stay well. Take care of your family. Love them. Hug them. Squeeze them often. Tell them you love them every day if you can. And you are amazing. Remember that. You're all amazing. And thank you to everyone who watches my channel and enjoys my videos. And you guys can look forward to a whole lot more like this in the near future. I have some other ideas with things like this, so I'm super excited about it, and I'll get those done soon. God bless you all. Stay tuned for pictures on the back end. Love you. Bye.